Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz. This is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bet, including my $19 Bank Shot best bet, as well as my all-access season pass in college basketball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Wednesday in college basketball. First up, it's Albany and Seton Hall. This one's 6:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Yeah, to me, this just looks like a good spot for Seton Hall to earn a feel-good blowout win at home. I know Albany's coming off its first win of the season over a solid Columbia team, but this team still has some glaring issues. The third straight true road game now for Albany. Their defense is struggling, ranked 307 in adjusted defensive efficiency. They're not forcing virtually any turnovers. Their three-point defense has not been great. And I think with Seton Hall's pace of play offensively and Albany's pace on defense, pretty fast-paced both sides, we're going to see a faster game and a game where, Seton Hall has a lot of possessions, should be able to score into the 80s, maybe even the 90s in a game like this. We saw Seton Hall get 85 in their last game against FDU. The defense for Seton Hall is looking really strong, forcing a lot of turnovers, taking care of both the offensive and defensive glass, good three-point defense. Albany's got decent three-point shooting numbers, but they're 268th in two-point field goal percentage, so I just don't think Albany keeps up offensively here. I'm going to lay the points with the Seton Hall Pirates at home. Next up, we see Canisius and Cleveland State. This one's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. Canisius is 1-1 straight up, but 2-0 against the number. That's what we care about to start the season, as they covered against Syracuse, losing by 12 points. Despite shooting 29% from the free throw line, they made 5 of 17 free throw attempts. They still found the cover because they were red hot from the three-point line, and they had 16 offensive rebounds in that game. In the next game for Canisius, they earned the outright upset win over St. Bonaventure. Solid program, top 100 team in KenPom. Canisius beat them 70-67. Again, 12 of 24 from three-point range. This team probably going to be some of the one of the best teams in college basketball this year in three-point percentage. And you're facing a Cleveland State defense that's right now ranked 283rd in three-point defense, giving up 37.8% to opposing teams. I do think this opens the door for Canisius to hang around in this game as well. Even though this is a solid Cleveland State team, a good offense, they took down Ohio in their last game, really solid win there. I just think that this is going to be a really close game. I think Canisius' defense has also stepped it up quite a bit, especially in that last game against St. Bonaventure. I like the fact that they can take and make the three, and they're actually defending the three-point arc pretty well as well. Give me the Canisius Golden Griffins plus the points on the road. Next up, we see Utah Valley taking on Charlotte. This one also 7 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. I was really impressed with Utah Valley's win outright against Sam Houston. They were about an 8.5-point underdog in that game. They won in overtime 79-73. They didn't have much success at the free throw line or on the three-point arc, but they were 71.8%, 28 of 39 from two-point range. A lot of sustainable buckets, a lot of layups, dunks, and and ones. And Utah Valley, I think going forward, we're going to find some value betting on this team, as they're actually a lot better than I thought and than I expected, going into the season. But this is just not one of those matchups, in my opinion. I think Charlotte, unlike Sam Houston, can really defend the paint, and they have a really strong front court. Sam Houston, only one player on the roster that's got that's taller than 6'10" that plays significant minutes, and that's Doumbia. But Charlotte, they have plenty of players in the front court and some really nice transfers, as well as guys from last year's roster from Charlotte. But you got Yaroslav Niagu, the former USC Trojan. You got Deshaun Jackson, who transferred from Washington State. You got Igor Milicic. All these guys are 6'10" and taller. Deshaun Jackson, 6'11", 260. So Charlotte, I think, is going to do a lot better job at defending the paint than Sam Houston did. And Charlotte, I do think, is also a better shooting team than Sam Houston. Sam Houston was just not great offensively in that ballgame. But right now, Charlotte's ranked 96th in three-point percentage, 81st in two-point percentage, and 32nd in free throw percentage. So I think Charlotte's defense, matched with the pretty good shooting numbers, makes this a really tough matchup for Utah Valley on the road. I'm going to go with Charlotte and lay the points at home. Next up, we see USC Upstate taking on East Carolina. This one's 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN Plus as well. Now, going into the season, I like the roster for USC Upstate on paper, and I liked them against South Carolina the first day of the regular season, but they lost that game 82-53, and I have not been impressed with what I've seen on the court for USC Upstate, and I don't like them in this game against East Carolina on the road. East Carolina, an experienced team, a very well-coached team by Mike Schwartz. They're a good rebounding team. They were top 50 in the nation in offensive rebounding last year, and so far this year, top 100. They're taking better care of the defensive glass as well. This is going to be a team, and although they didn't shoot that well from the perimeter in the the game against Campbell. They're going to take a lot of three-point jumpers this year. They took 29 against Campbell, and they're going to make them at a pretty good rate. And USC Upstate right now ranked 337th in three-point defense. That's a big issue for me. The rebounding is also a big issue. Like I said, East Carolina, a good rebounding team. USC Upstate giving up offensive rebounds on 36.8% of missed shots and only earning offensive rebounds on 14.9%. That's 349th in the country. I know it's early. You don't want to overreact to these small samples, but to me, East Carolina, the much better team in a game like this, and we're laying a pretty reasonable number. So give me East Carolina. I think they're going to be one of the better teams and one of the more sleeper teams in the AAC this year. I'm going to take them to lay the points in this one. And the final game we're going to talk about for Wednesday's card in college basketball, it's VCU and Radford. This one also 7 o'clock Eastern, also on ESPN+. This is a new look program for VCU. A new head coach in Ryan Odom, the former coach at Utah State and UMBC. Mike Rhodes, he left for the Penn State job. He was the coach from 2018 to 2023. VCU's defense was top 50 in adjusted defensive efficiency, and every year he was coached except the first year. And we usually know it's the toughest year for first year head coaches is the first year, because usually you lose quite a bit of the production from last year's roster. You got to bring in some transfers. Recruiting can be a little bit difficult, and I think that's the case for VCU, as it is for many teams in college basketball this year. Ryan Odom is kind of the polar opposite to Mike Rhodes. Mike Rhodes, very defense first. They force a lot of turnovers. Like I said, great defensive numbers. Ryan Odom, his Utah State teams were very high-flying offense teams. Teams who took a ton of three-point jumpers, weren't always necessarily concerned with the defensive end, even though they don't completely abandon the defense. They're still, like Utah State last year was barely cracking the top 100 in adjusted defensive efficiency. So I do think it's going to take some time for VCU to embrace that new, system. And I think that Radford's a really solid team, an experienced team. I like Darius Nichols, the head coach. Team that's pretty balanced scoring, good defensive team, good rebounding team. This is a solid team in general. I mean, they played well against North Carolina, covered the number in that game on the road in the first day of the regular season, took a win against Marshall at a neutral site, pretty solid program, nice win there. They were strong defensively in their subdivision game against Eastern Mennonite. So I just think Radford's going to hang around in this game. I think it's a pretty even game, honestly. So I think there's value taking the points with Radford. I'm going to take the Highlanders plus the points on the road 10 tonight. And that's it. Those are the games for Wednesday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. But don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bet, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.